Hello everyone, Darren here, and welcome back to episode 83 in my Anno 1800 Let's Play. Now, in the last episode, I spent a long time here on the island of Guadalmina, reorganizing the economy to create and supply fertilizer, after the recent patch changed the values of how it was produced. Now, having done that, today I'm planning on setting up trade routes for fertilizer to kind of boost the various farms that we have around the world, and look into a few shortfalls we also have across the economy. But before we get to that, I left the island in a bit of a mess, so I've got a quick time-lapse of putting on the finishing touches. Let's begin. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another time-lapse, and this one's a little bit chaotic. It's short, but sweet. It kind of jumps around a lot. I spent about an hour and a half, I think, redoing and reorganizing this island, because most of the work was actually done in the episode. All the production side of things is pretty much decided, and I wasn't really planning on putting down new buildings or anything, but just moving what I had, moving what was existing already. And then also sprucing up the place with a little bit of trees and things like that. And then obviously going through the town, adding ornaments and stuff. So the first thing here would be the orchard, and I wanted all of the same type of tree in one kind of place, and then sort of add in the supply warehouses where it can make sense. So I put one right next to the oil well factory, and then I put another one kind of just a bit further off, connecting the two. Decided to get rid of all the pearl farms. That's something I'll be dealing with in this episode, is pearls. And just because it didn't seem worth having it, it's like 200 workers just to get like 3 tons per minute, so just get rid of it. We have docklands, way more than we need to pull in there through various resources. And then on this side of the island we have the tobacco fields. So this island is really, its main produce was tobacco, and I was going to change things to build a little road and build little streets and make the tobacco places look a little bit better, but space is so tight I couldn't really do that, so I ended up largely leaving it the way it was, but just spacing out where the supply warehouses were. Then, because we're storing up a lot of stuff here, I wanted to add a few more depots in, so just increasing the island storage and making it look a little bit more uniform, and then spacing out the various piers just to make it look like a more industrialized trade harbor in a way. Even though this is a little small island, it is mostly, apart from that residential zone, it is strict business everywhere else, which is why things are a little bit more orderly. So I was looking at the, it's nice of course now that you can use various ornaments in the New World, so I was looking through the, oh man, I'm after forgetting what pack that they came with. Docklands, I guess? Yeah, it was the Docklands ornaments, I think. That add all the different little bits of industry to your Docklands. So just put down a new lighthouse out there and added some lamps and lights and things along the streets, but we'll come back to that in a moment. The orchards at the main center of where the old town used to be, it's now just, again, uniform, I think camphor wax, and I just filled it in with the tree painting tool just to make it all look really lush. And then over towards the actual production area. So this is where a lot of stuff happens, and it's mostly, like I say, just reorganization, although I think I added in a few hacienda farms. Someone mentioned, I think, that, oh, why don't you do hacienda farms with tobacco? They're way smaller than the massive tobacco fields that take like 250 or 280 modules. And it's because you can't. I think there's a mod that allows you to do it. They just add every farm into the haciendas, but I don't play with any mods active, and I actually never even have. So I just use the regular farms, and the farms for me here, I use corn, and yeah, they only take 100 modules. They're tiny, so they're literally almost a third the size as the tobacco fields. So where I could, I just sprinkled those in with the extra workforce I had on hand, and tried to fill every grid I had with space for corn, specifically because they're going to be used in the different silos that get more out of the animal farms, and those animal farms are used to collect dung, and that dung is used to make fertilizer, which is another main proponent of what this place makes. So fertilizer, tobacco, and I guess corn, actually, really, for the entire New World is produced here now. So a really nice ornament, I thought, took me a while to decide it. I've made a few cuts in this time-lapse, quite a lot actually, because I had played it for quite a long time, was the sewer. So I didn't really focus on it there, but at the end of this time-lapse we'll really have a nice look at different things. But adding in the sewer modules just in at the back of the industry like that, and the animal farms, I think looks super. I didn't think the white surrounding bricks of the sewers would really suit. It's what the canals kind of look like, and I didn't think it would suit the New World because nothing really blends with that, but it looks pretty good. Then back at the main harbor, I decided in between the piers, instead of just gaps, they could station different ships here. So we have the kind of the barges and the other little boats, the fishing boats that can stay there. So they look really good too, I think. Quite happy with how they kind of seem to fit. And then basically I was just painting out corn everywhere else I could. Now I actually painted the whole thing as corn and had a bunch of corn fields, but I was like, this is just too much corn. We need to just differentiate it a little bit. So I added more tobacco because it would probably be used in future for various cigars and things like that. And then just the last little bit here, I'll be touching up with various trees, just filling in every little bit I can with camphor trees, the citrus trees, and then the orchard ones. Do something kind of unique here with the seasonal decoration pack. I'm using the... I can't remember what they're called. Those big poles. Maypoles, I think. Which is actually like a wine. It's supposed to be like for wine and stuff. But I think it looks really good just outside the church. I don't know. Something like festive. Kind of like, I don't know, religious slash festive about it. I just thought it worked where it is. Across from the market and everything. So there we go. That's basically the area done. So that's the church, market slash hospital and the amenities. And we can see obviously the waterfall in the background there. Then we've got our main docks, the 4 various piers set up. Traffic is at a minimum, which is good. And then our animal industry right at the back. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, the new and improved island of Guadalmina. And I gotta say, like, this game just looks absolutely stunning. I know I say that so much. I'm like, how many hundreds of hours into it? And it just catches the lighting just so right sometimes. And I'm like, holy crap, this game looks good. It's such a delight to come back to it. Because I jump across various games all the time. I was recently playing another city builder, and I'm like, damn, when you hop back to this one, it's like, this may be a few years old, but it still takes the cake in terms of the #1 best looking city builder slash logistics game there is, for sure. Probably the #1 looking strategy game there is, full stop. Anyways, enough gushing. I was going to say that I'm really happy with how the island has turned out, clearly. But that's obviously just because how good the game looks. But generally speaking, it's difficult to make a production island actually look decent. Like, I try to strike the balance of not sacrificing too much efficiency, but making things look decent at the same time if I can. And I feel like I've struck that balance fairly well on this island. I'm making use of almost every little grid space I can, and I'm still using, you know, trade unions to a pretty good effect where I can, also haciendas, etc, etc. So pretty happy with how it's all turned out in the little town itself. Really actually quite happy with the church area where we've got these 2, what are they called? The maypoles that came with that DLC pack. Let's see if I can remember the name. Seasonal decoration ornaments. So that's one of the recent ones that came out. And I think it works. It does have the old world kind of crowd using them rather than the new world people. But I could imagine that they're visiting. They're here. They've got their little stalls set up. It's... who's to say they wouldn't? Alright. So that's that island. And we have a lot more workforce to spare. And that's with me getting rid of a few different houses, actually. So our population has fallen just slightly. Because I think I got rid of about 100 people. And then I got rid of even a few more houses, and now we just have 100 in excess, not really doing anything. And no doubt in the future, with future DLC and things like that, I'm sure we'll have even more to do with them then. So I'm sure we'll be revisiting this place eventually with new ornaments, items, etc. Alright, this is going to be a problem for the future as well, sorting out this traffic jam that's happening at this island. I'll have to look back at that later. That's just like... that's one of those things I don't know if I'll ever get to now. But in terms of what we're going to do now, what I'm going to focus on, I was thinking of, some people are saying like, oh, you haven't been back to the old world in a while, so I think maybe I'll focus back there a little bit more for this episode, because things are running pretty well in the new world. Pretty well, anyway. This island should have loads of cinnamon. This, for some reason, always has a slow cart getting to it. I've increased the amount of cigars that I'm producing, and I've set up a new cigar route. I think that's the only things I did off camera. Or at least between episodes. So now we should be getting everything back to these guys. They should have everything they need. All their demands are met. They're looking good.
Daddy's little place up on Mount Olymp.
Mount Olymp. Yeah, so we've all the department stores maxed out. Everything's looking great. The iron schlong is fully erect. It's almost at its max number. 5,000. Can we handle it? Apparently we can. Let's whack it all the way up there and see if that's okay. Tourists are super happy. Now, I think there's a few things that are running out every now and then. You know, nothing is set in stone, as always. I have a feeling that sewing machines are actually running a bit low, so we'll keep an eye on that. And then down here, at the Docklands, I have put in a few new holdovers. So I'm selling... I realized I was running very low on glass. So I'm now getting rid of elevators in exchange for glass, which is keeping the elevator... Previously, we just had maxed out elevators that weren't really being manufactured, but now they are again. So that's putting a little bit more strain back on wood veneers, steel, and steam motors. But as you can, if you paid attention just there, it's super maxed out. So everything seems to be pretty good. Low on quartz sand, but plenty of lacquer. You know, it's fine. don't worry about that at all. They're overproducing it, if anything, and if that building goes offline every now and then, who cares? So yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do. We've got some things to make look more beautiful and maybe add some extra houses in. But I thought for sure I was running low on something. I know definitely that people want me to go over back to Cape Trelawney and clean up this place as well. Not looking too good. Souvenirs have stopped. I think this is a... Yeah, because of glass running out. I think that's a slow cause and effect from glass running out of the other big island that we have. So we got this ship delivering glass coming from Crown Farms. Oh, it's actually picking glass up at Crown Farms and bringing it to Lusk. Alright, looks like we found something to do. This isn't right at all. Well, let's have a look. So, I'll look at global glass production. Intermediate. It's obviously going to be very high demand with not much production because we're bringing a lot in through Docklands. But it seems like we shouldn't be really taking any away from here. So maybe we can get rid of this route. This route doesn't seem to need to do it. So I'll just take that ship off and hit accept. That route's going to be, you know, have a little issue for now, but that's okay. We can go back to it if we need to. And then we've got glass down here, which is supposed to be getting made. And here we have the actual quartz sand. Yeah, you don't have all you need. Now, Captain Tobias is arriving right now, and he's going to be taking rum in exchange for quartz sand. But it looks like rum is just a little bit tight. So what could you exchange instead? Let's just quickly throw in, before he gets here. He's just about to arrive. So I'm going to throw in steel bars. Because we obviously have a lot, and it's at tier 2. Now that's probably going to be temporary. If we have a look at the recent exchanges in Docklands, we can see that nothing was... Looks like he's just traded now. So it seems like, yeah, we didn't trade anything here. And we've got cigars coming in. And that's not happening either. But I think I'm producing enough cigars now. Yeah, so it looks like we'll have to just get rid of rum here being exchanged. It just seems like that's not really correct anymore, based on how much extra we have. Because I believe rum gets taken away from here and just distributed around the world. So let's check that out. So there is actually a lot to check out. Hit the source of all these issues. So rum, globally, we produce 120 tons. And we consume 54. So I'm going to check the routes and see where they go. Now there is a specialty route that carries it around the world. 3 ships with some issues. Some of the ships don't possess... Oh, that's fine. They don't have enough slots. This one has 8. And that's why they say that. So they're going from Crown Farms to Lusk to drop off their rum. But really, I suppose... Well, it should bottleneck here eventually. If we are producing too much. Because really, you would hope that... Yeah, because it looks like it's full all the way back there. And then I guess it gets distributed up to Swords, this island here. Because if we're overproducing, it should end up storing up at Crown Farms either way. Now, the other route that takes rum comes from the New World, right? Cape to Old World, multi-regional, and Old World. Multi-regional must just be... No? Well, that's weird. There's no rum route coming from the New World. That can't be right. Apparently not. That can't be right, can it? It seems like madness. Let's just check. That means a lot of our rum is just staying here. Let's look at all the sugarcane we produce here. And do we make rum here? Oh, maybe we don't. What am I doing with the sugarcane? So lost. Let me turn all these on. So yeah, production is 9 tons per minute for rum. And this is the consumption. It's only 7. Oh, sugarcane gets refined into sugar and gets made into chocolate. I remember now. So all rum production is done in the old world. Huh. Interesting. I had no recollection of that. We make 120 just out of those factories. Basically 100 on Crown Farms alone. Let's check that. Yeah. I guess we've hyper increased production. Sorry that I didn't remember that. I know that we have all the rum distilleries here and a building around them. So I guess that's it. I guess that's what it comes down to. Well, that makes a bit more sense then why I'm exporting it around the world. I'm just trying to think what I can do to help that then. I mean, it's maxed out down here, and it's getting delivered correctly. Well, really, if we're overproducing by that much, it just seems like I'm taking too much in Docklands. That's really what it comes down to, I think. So sorry for the running around a million different ways to find that out. But that just seems to be, it's like, look, at a certain point, you were just getting rid of too much. The backlog should mean that it does get stored up here eventually. That should just happen. It's no one's throwing it overboard, right? Let me just check on that. That was a little issue I had a while back, but as long as we're not sending it to be thrown overboard anywhere. No, in fact, they're actually being told to wait to unload. Oh, right. So don't make the journey unless you can get rid of... Yeah, and the fact that these ships aren't even... I might get rid of 2 of these ships. Keep it on 1. Let you do your thing. Wait to load up this much and then ship it to Lusk. I don't necessarily see a problem with that. Lusk definitely needs it in the end at some point, so that seems fine to me, but it doesn't seem like you need more than just the 1. And then I'm doing a lot of messy stuff with it. We're taking it from the factory island of Lusk, bringing it up to Swords, loading up as much as we can beyond the cutoff point, and then distributing that again around to other islands. Now, I just saw that this one is taking it to from Lusk and bringing it to Malahide. That's a messy thing, so just don't do that anymore. And this one can do it instead. So I guess it's like, oh, they need such few that it's not really even... It adds a bit of a delay, I guess, but it doesn't seem like it's a big issue. So yeah, drop it there if you can, and just keep doing that. That's fine. At least it's just 1 ship doing it. Hopefully that kind of makes sense what I'm doing. Okay, so anyway, I've freed up a couple of ships, and I've lowered the amount that's coming out of Docklands. Now, I could do the calculation, I suppose, and like add it all up, see how much rum is being taken away, or is scheduled to be taken away, and how much we're storing. The clear and obvious problem right here, right in front of me, is that if you add it up like 1,000, this place can only store like 3,000 or 4,000, so I'm actually giving away more than I could even store. All granted, not everything can be taken, so it depends how much, coal you need. So sometimes we're pulling in 1,300 coal, so that's like 400 should really be going there. So I might do that in between episodes and like really gauge this. This was a kind of a quick and dirty Docklands, and I'm sure things like steel are probably even fine to manage this as well. So anyway, long story short, we're making glass again, okay? So we're making glass again because we've just pulled in the correct amount of sand. Glass is going to get produced. It'll go into this thing, which will make the souvenirs, and the souvenirs will come back to the old world and go to the tourists. So that seems fine. It's a little convoluted, but it seems fine. Well, there's something interesting. We're making steam motors again because of the elevators coming online. We don't have enough brass to supply them. Now, I can barely remember where that gets made. There's 0 brass smelteries on the island. 0. So I must have at some point thought, yeah, I'm going to cut that chain out completely. Because these guys obviously require it for glasses, so it must be coming in through here. It's the answer to everything, this building. Again though, so weird, like I keep looking back on Docklands and being like, where am I getting these things? Like there's no brass coming in here. So let me check my trade route and see, okay, are we getting it from the old place? From Cape Trelawney. Yes, we are. And I'm throwing it overboard to pick up pearls. Let's simplify these routes. You're not picking those things up right now. Let's get rid of the pearls off this. Keep the route simple. So, brass has been picked up at Crown Farms and been delivered to Lusk. And that's it. And it seems like brass production is probably fine for both. So if I just go all islands, intermediate products, brass. We're producing 8 but consuming 42 tons. Wow. Okay. So what's the deal there? Are we pulling brass in through the other Docklands? Could that be it? Yes, that is it. But we ran out because we ran out of rum. Well, there we go. There's the answer. Alright, well, good to know. Now, we could be making more brass to supplement that. We have the workforce for it. It only takes workers. Let's just do that. Spam a few of those buildings. We have the raw materials on the island, I think. So just for fun, let's just add a little factory area, I don't know, somewhere out to the side. I can move these, give them a trade union in the future. Oh, we're out of construction materials.
Look busy, people.
Yeah, because they have tons of zinc and copper, and we don't even really use it. It's all maxed out everywhere, I think, in the world. If I just check really quickly, raw materials. Yeah, so copper is at 16, and zinc, sorry, the other way around. Zinc is at 16, copper's at 22, even with the new buildings being placed down. And they all get moved around, I think, with there's like various ships that take them around. So I think that'll be fine. But yeah, we need more construction material. Oh, hang on a sec.
Run out of cabins.
Yeah, 25 workers. We're after running out of engineers here.
This place is full of unresolved equations.
Yeah. Okay, well that's a different problem. But anyway, I guess I could leave that just for now. 3 of those helps mitigate that. I'm going to just make a note of it. Gotta get better at, more diligent at writing down what these issues are so that when I come back to the game I don't keep forgetting everything. So brass. Okay, cool. Great. Another thing I just want to do really quickly is just buy back another share. Alright. Okay, so yeah, so let's forget about that for now, right? That seems like 3 of those buildings shouldn't affect the raw materials too much, and it should make life a little easier on the docklands for sending out the rum to take in brass, and then the brass is going to get shipped over to Lusk, and that should be okay. There's 2 ships doing it as well, so it should be fairly consistent. Yeah, they're both full up. They're both on their way. I think it'll be okay. I'll look back at it if it needs another ship. So, the other problem then would be sewing machines. They're running out of sewing machines, and they don't have enough gas. Now, that's actually a problem that I knew about a long time ago, is that it would take something like 100 hours to run out, because it was like we're barely just over-consuming it. But that is the reality, that it does get delivered here, but I think it's just over-consumed. Now, I'll just double-check. I'll go to Hopefell.
I find the safety goggles.
Yeah, they're still working. No buildings are offline, right? So, they're doing their thing. Yeah, so as long as they're all working, there's not much else I can do. There's extra mines here that we could try to supply them with more stuff eventually and get the other mines up and running. I mean, that would be, the hassle. But I think, yeah, it'll give us something to do for sure. I'm smiling thinking about it just because I know it's the Arctic has been set and done and dusted for such a long time. Going back up there and like, it's so difficult to get them up and running correctly. All right, we've actually fallen 5,000 population, so I think, yeah, these sewing machines are probably out everywhere.
Above the madding crowd.
I don't know, they apparently have them. I don't know what's happening to our... Oh, it's probably the work... Yeah, these guys have fallen down.
Staff seem overwhelmed today, don't they?
So that's interesting. I'm still constantly trying to get these to be able to let me hit 5,000 and not suffer what's essentially a recession of tourists. Because then the Iron Tower even goes offline and population just tumbles. So it's quite an interesting little thing. Oh yeah, I remember why. It was jewelry before, but I think they're also running out of souvenirs now. So I think if we fix the souvenir problem, they should be basically have everything they need. That never happens. That they don't fluctuate. And if they don't fluctuate, that radius should never shrink. And they should always be able to assign as many workers as they need. So it's a real weird long cause and effect, but the only thing I could track that was affecting it was the jewelry. But also we just ran out of souvenirs because we ran out of glass, right? So I think that's probably also playing a part when too many things fall below. Yeah, jewelry's at 98. It looks like it might be even falling. I thought I fixed that. Anyway, there's too many problems right now. Let me just go back to what we were looking at. Yeah, souvenirs is coming from the old world. Jewelry, as people mentioned, is coming from here, and then also Dockland. So we have, yeah, that's storing up just fine. Okay. So sewing machines then. Let's check. All islands. So if we look at all of our islands, we are producing enough sewing machines. So it's just the trade routes that are messed up. But we've got lots of extra influence, so we can fix these things now. Sewing machines. So, the old world delivery of sewing machines picks up sewing machines in Lusk and delivers them around to the various islands here. That's fair enough. The new world to old world. We are bringing sewing machines over, and that's fine. We're not dumping them. I'm just keeping an eye out for that, making sure I'm not dumping these things anywhere. Let me just check that other route as well. Yep, that's fine. Okay, good. Right, so then within the new world, we're then just spreading sewing machines around to the various islands. Only a little bit, but it's enough to keep everyone happy, along with the tortillas. And then this is taking it to the Cape. So this was where things are probably getting a bit messy because we're dumping things. And that never goes well. So I'm picking up sewing machines at Lusk. And I'm picking up fur coats. And I'm delivering them out to... So I think actually I'm making enough. I'm just not delivering it fast enough. That seems to be the issue. And what we're choosing to dump overboard is the jewelry. Because they actually have loads of jewelry here. Holy crap. So let's tell them not to do that. I'll just hit accept on that. Yeah, jewelry, maybe I should make that a separate route. Seeing as we'll have the time to do it, I think I should. Alright, so no waiting to unload, no discarding of cargo. So this ship right here. So it's bringing that jewelry back. I'll just make a little notification. Yeah, I guess I'll just take it off the route. Make a notification and I'll put it back on the route in a moment. Okay, so sewing machines needs to go out to the Cape. But we need a reserve on how much we can take away. I'm kind of confused why it's... If we're making more than we need, why it's so low. So let me just check. Are we making any out in Cape Trelawney? We're making 4. So they're making 4 tons locally. And then the old worlds are making 35 tons. Combined we're making 39, which is the entirety of what we need. Now, that's to include... Are there any items that are making those? Yeah. Professor Ram Devi is making sewing machines. As long as these buildings are up and running. Which they should be. Yeah, those are fine. Those ones are okay. Light bulbs are okay. Gramophones are even okay. Wood veneers are not. So they stop every now and then. So that could affect our production a little bit. Just a little bit. 2 buildings stopping for a little bit every now and then. Now, the funny thing is we're actually making more of those than ever. Because now we've turned on elevator production. But elevator production is full as well. Interesting.
Stations.
Let's just transfer that in. Right, we'll put a ship back on this. The scholarship. Sure. And it's taking fur coats out of here as well. I'm going to put 2 ships. Well, yeah, I don't know if 2 ships would make a difference. It wouldn't really. Just do it with 1. Now, they should almost wait until they get a full amount and then go. But that doesn't seem right. I don't know. I'll just hit accept anyway. We'll leave it as it is. I can't really work out why they'd be short if we're overproducing unless something stopped. You know, it's like, oh, if this building stops, well, let's just test it. If I turn that off and I turn that off, the buildings that are kind of hitting full capacity anyway, and then I go, we're still producing enough. So it's not those that are doing it. And this is including the consumption out here. Now, I'll just check one last time that we're not throwing anything overboard. And the one that's going to the New World should just bring them back if the New World is full. That's what would happen. Right? If the New World can't handle taking more, we'll bring back, which is what this ship is doing. So it's only going to be taking what it needs. So that's fine. If everything just takes what it needs, then we've got no problem. So maybe it's just a bit of a cause and effect and I'm waiting to catch up on itself, but it seems like... It seems to me anyway, like that should work out. Even if it's only 150. We're delivering 150 every time the ship makes it between islands. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'll just keep an eye on it and see if it has an effect, a problem again later. You can let me know if you think you know what's up with it.
Familia is merely ordinary.
They have them now, right? Yeah, okay. Well, we're up to 99,000. Again, I'm trying to just maintain 100. That's roughly what I want to do. And then every few episodes, I'm trying to beautify different places. Make a lot of fur coats, though. That feels good, man. So what was the other issue then? Souvenirs, wasn't it? Or something like that? Jewelry again. Okay, so jewelry. Let's focus on jewelry. That's what I was trying to do last episode, but I didn't quite manage it, I guess. Jewelry. Alright, so you're not producing, you're offline for some reason. Let's figure out why that would be. There's one jewelry factory here. I'm guessing it's the pearls, right? It's probably the pearls.
I'm missing particular material.
Yes, you're missing pearls. Now, pearls is really... it doesn't feel like it's worth it. So what I might try and do is just pull them in through this Docklands. Let's check the recent exchanges, by the way, as well. Hasn't had another exchange yet. You actually don't need cigars coming in, I don't think, anymore. Let's get rid of that. Alright. Let's do gramophones in exchange for pearls. Holy crap. But yeah, let me try actually work it out as well. So just on this island, how much do you need? Because I stopped all pearl production, I think. Yeah, I'm not making any pearls anywhere, and we need 24 tons per minute. But on Cape Trelawney itself, we need 19. So let's just say 20 times about, it's usually about 20 minutes, every 25 minutes he gets here. I opened the timer, sorry, not the calculator. So 20 times 25, just to be generous, so 500, right? If we pull in 500 from Docklands, that should be enough. So it's only 66 gramophones. That's not too bad at all. Yeah. Not too bad at all. And then, aren't we doing the same in the Docklands over in the other place? If so, we can change that so we're just doing it a bit more. Yeah, so we're pulling in 500 there. Okay, well, if we're going to bring them all in at one spot, which seems like it's probably a better idea, because we could just trade them then.
Crikey.
Let's have a look at what we'd need. So an intermediate again, actually it's a raw material, I think. Pearls, that's 24. So 24 times 25. 600 is what we'd need. So right now we're actually pulling in almost double. So let's just list this as 600. And we'll change the pearl route so that it goes from here rather than comes to here. There's actually no pearls coming from the New World anymore, so let's just get that out of there. And then from here. So, Port of Banús to Lusk. Yep, that's not happening anymore. So we need a new trade route that's going to take pearls, just pearls, from Crown Farms to Lusk. Okay. So I'll just say Cape, whoops, not to the New World, Cape to Old World. Pearls, that's it. And there's a ship right here. Awesome. And that should fix that. So I'm gonna, just so we actually get to see this thing, I'll speed that up. Now what I need to do also is cancel the pearls that are happening in swords already. There's pearls in swords. Oh, that's a mistake. Okay, and then there's pearls in Lusk. So yeah, that's a bit of it. So I'm after clearing off 2 contracts in Docklands. Now I gotta find out, why would I do that? Why would I make pearls come in here at swords? And did I have a route that did something with that? So the only route with pearls is this one now, so that's good.
I can appreciate the art of others.
Is there any consumption of pearls on this island? There isn't. Okay, so that's a weird one. I'm guessing if I didn't have a route doing something with that, pearls may be maxed out here. Yes, they are. Okay, I like it when I actually get something correct. Which means we'll be fine for a long time. We can just load up some ships, get some pearls, ship them on down. In fact, let's do it the right way. Let's make a route. A trade route from here down to Lusk. Loading up all these beautiful pearls. And just assign almost every, well, not every available ship, but 3, you know, empty ships to doing that just now. A pearl removal temporary route. There we go. So until those ships aren't doing anything, they'll be, you know, they'll empty out over time. We'll come back and see how that's going. All right, solving problems. Now, something I said I was going to do this episode was actually get a fertilizer route up and running. But I was looking around, like statistically, farms are actually, their output is totally fine.
On hand, but stocks are low.
But I did think of one place we could bring them.
Missing.
Oh, you're missing grain. Okay, we could bring in grain actually in Docklands real quick. Oh my god, he's arriving right now. Grain. Alright, good. Something, just anything, whatever. Just keep grain ready to make flour to keep these places up and running as well. So I'll just bump that up to about there. That should be fine. Anyways, what I was going to say was the only one place I thought would be kind of cool to use the silos, not that we really need it, would be here. I mean, Crown Farms is the obvious place to deliver fertilizer because it's farming central. You could really optimize the farms like crazy even more over there. I think they're basically making everything though I need, and I've got tons of space. You know, everything's full.
No space left here.
We just got so many potatoes. So I don't even know what I would do.
I got me family.
I suppose in a situation like just now where I ran out of... But yeah, grain is fine. So I just don't have a need for it. It'd be nice to add silos if I really wanted to squeeze and we wanted to put as many people on this island as possible. I don't want to... That's not really how I play the game. I'm trying to make the place look nice. But I do like the idea of having big farms. Like huge farms across this place. So maybe in the next one, maybe this is a place I'll come back to. And do a bit of an update and a time lapse for here. Seems like it's a little bit overdue. So yeah, so we'll set up a farm route though, and a fertilizer route, and start delivering it out here. So I'll just set that up now, and then start building the fertilizer silos, because that island was kind of tricky to get more grapes out of. So at least it kind of makes sense doing it there. So we'll just do a new route from the New World. Our big fertilizer export. Actually, let me just search fertilizer really quickly. It's a specialty route. Oh yeah. So we're loading it up at Guadalmina, which is where we make all the fertilizer now, and we're dropping it off at 2 different islands. But I'm going to add in now the Old World and bring it into... I guess I could bring it into Lusk and then just have another ship deliver it around to islands with farms. Feels like that's not needed on a specialty route. I think we just want to take it directly there. Fertilizer gets used so slowly as well that we can afford to, I think, take the time on a long route. So let's do that. Alright, so that route now has the combined. So instead of saying New World, we'll change this group. Yeah, move to multi-regional. There we go. Cool. Alright. Actually, the nice thing is now we could maybe get rid of some of these if we wanted to. So let me check how much this island produces. This is the island of Skerries, and we produce 31 tons of grapes here per minute, but we're actually maxed out. I guess the ship doesn't come by that often, and also we probably just don't have that much storage. We only have 450. Just gonna put down a little extra storage just kind of as a temporary thing. Want to just check back on our factory island where we're using those grapes. We're using them here, and let's just check the overall consumption then. So we're making 38. And we're consuming 26. So we're overproducing already quite a lot. But we could save on things like... Well, I guess it doesn't save fuel to get rid of the fuel stations, but... I suppose at the end of the... Yeah, I don't know. I don't even really need to do this at all. But if I was just to turn that and that off... We go down to 27. 34 in total. That's interesting. Where else do we make it? I guess on swords itself, right? We make 2. I'm just a bit confused. On swords, our kind of capital island, we're making 2. On Skerries, the island we're looking at where we make grapes, we make 27, but we must be getting some from somewhere else. Because it was adding up to more than that. Maybe Crown Farms? No? That's weird. Is there no way it's coming from the New World? Marbella is producing grapes? Oh, weird. I guess it's coming from some item that's being used over there. Oh, apparently so. There he is. The horticulturalist Herman is making grapes. And a lot of them too. So that's probably throwing off the statistics when I'm hitting like all islands. But that's kind of interesting that we could be bringing... You must just be full on grapes, right? Yeah. That's really interesting. It's just stacking them up over here. So yeah, we're making almost 5 tons per minute when we're taking them. How can we even be producing that many? I don't even know. 'Cause surely that's just full and not changing at all, ever. Yeah, I think it's just fluctuating because it's I thinks it's making it from the item, I guess, but it's not. It can't even store it. Okay, well that's kind of interesting to know. This has been a real like chasing episode where it's like I'm gonna find the root cause of like where all these things are coming from. I feel like at least with that statistics screen, it makes it quite easy to find where all these things do come from, which is good. So yeah, we wouldn't want to necessarily turn those off then, because if we just go like this, that's really what we care about. It's 33 to 26. Yeah, so I gotta be honest. Well, I'll throw it down anyway. Well, you can add on. Although these look really nice in uniform. But I was gonna say, we could just add on the extra fertilizer here. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry to say, but because we don't need it, I'll change this route just so it goes to Crown Farms, because it just doesn't seem like we need it. We make enough of what we need, and we'll probably need something, fertilizer of some sort, on Crown Farms eventually, so I'll say that instead. Sorry for being so inconsistent or indecisive, really. It's just, I thought we'd need it here, and we don't. We just don't. We overproduce already by a lot, and if anything, if there's a New World to Old World route, we could be taking some of them grapes out of there, bringing them to Lusk. A lot of these are going to be full of just one specific thing. Yeah, so this is interesting. This goes from Lusk, or Portabanus to Lusk. So it's not taking very much. It needs it just a little bit for certain buildings there. So let's just take that excess grapes. Why not? So I don't like seeing it being piled up there and not used, although a lot of things are, I guess. And because it's only taking like 30 or whatever. So just out of curiosity, I'm kind of curious as to what is taking fish oil in the old world. I don't remember. I'm guessing it's just like something in swords, like one of the restaurants, I guess, right? So you can see the production, but I don't know if you can see the consumption. People can tell me, maybe. I never know like what is consuming this. It says something is consuming it. It is on the island of swords, so I'm guessing, yeah, it's a restaurant or a department. I doubt it. Maybe a department store for one of the things. Let me check the catalogs, I guess. No, it doesn't seem like it. Not that catalog anyway. So that'd be a shopping arcade. See, I feel like there must be a quicker way of doing that.
Sampling every item.
Because there's obviously 3 different variations of each one.
For all nature's little blemishes.
Yeah, like face cream and stuff. Maybe fish oil is used in something like that. There it is. Lipstick. There we go. Got it. So that's why we need a little bit. And we're storing 3,419. Goddamn. That actually makes me think. This island consumes grapes, I think. It consumes 5 tons of grapes. 5 tons, eh? We know what place makes 5 tons of grapes. So let's go. Stop that. Add grapes here instead. And don't even go to Lust. Just go straight to swords. You don't need to make that stopgap. It's unnecessary. Yeah, that's fine. Fish oil.
Would you
And
like
grap.
a sample treatment? Although I must preface, the long-term side effects are not within our purview.
So, fish oil. We must be delivering it, yeah, through one of the many routes that goes up to swords right now, but we don't need to do that anymore. So let's just say no. And what is this? Toys. Okay. So just toys. Let's just find that ship again. Just throw that overboard. Whatever. Alright, cool. That's kind of messy, but essentially what was happening, you know, all my routes feed into this docklands, and then everything else feeds out from there into where they need to go. So it's my one deposit island. But it was unnecessary, you know. A ship was coming in, dropping something off, and another ship was taking it and just dropping it to here, when we could just go directly here. In that case, like, that's a very specific case where it's like, oh, this island needs 2 things, that's just going straight to there. So another thing we can get rid of then is grapes. That goes from, yeah, so there's just like a constant delivery here. So skerries is being dropped straight up to swords. You don't need to do that anymore. Yeah, you don't need to do that. You don't need to pick up any either. That doesn't make any sense. Just get rid of that. Just pick them up and drop them off at Lusk. That's all. You just have your little simple route now. Simplify. Yeah, and that should be enough. As long as those... Oh, I guess actually I just thought of one thing. If this ever stops, we could run out. And because we do hit the maximum. Now, I did something not that long ago where... Or at least in between episodes. I don't know if I've saved it anywhere. There's a New World only route. This one. Selling excess. Just to keep the building ticking over, I'm just selling it to Isabel Sarmento. I'm not throwing it overboard or anything. I'm just selling it. I'm like, oh, if you've got... There's a minimum reserve in what we can take. And if we can take something, we just take it and sell it. Let's just grab... This might be a crazy idea, but I don't know. Just in order to keep the building flowing, I feel like it's not that crazy. So like Coca. We can take that and just sell it to Isabel Sarmento. Because we've got too much. And if we ever don't have too much, she won't take it. This ship won't take anything. That would be the idea. Because this is only used here. We don't move it anywhere else, so it's fine. It's just to keep these buildings all ticking, which means the reason you want to keep building ticking is because we this guy making peppers, potatoes, and grapes. And we want those grapes now. It's kind of a fun... Hey, we're over 100,000 again. So that, you know, the cause and effect is kind of working, I think. Are we making that jewelry enough, though? That was the one of the root questions from a while ago. Apparently not. We've got 7 in our deposit. But we are delivering the pearls now. That was what I thought was slowing it down. Maybe 50 tons isn't enough to deliver. No, it is. We just don't have enough stored. And that's the only route that has Jew. I wrote Jew. Sorry. Yeah, that's the only route that does it. Okay then. And where is it? I just want to double check on where is that all produced then. 24. So I know that some is being produced on Lusk. And the consumption rate at swords. Yeah, so we need a jewelry route, right? We don't have one that's taking jewelry from Crown Farms to swords. To Lusk, sorry. That's the last thing I think I need to do then. So I'll just make that bespoke route. Because I think I had one, right? And I got rid of it. So Cape Trelawney, we're going to pick up jewelry. Which you should have now, I think. Or you start to get anyway. Yep, thousands. And we can set a reserve and everything to make sure we don't take too much. And one ship can do this. Oh, we don't have a ship ready. Juan and Sun has no trade route, but there's a bunch of rum on it. Let's just choose Juan and Sun, but I have to accept that route. Go there.
New orders.
Juan and Sun. Drop off your rum, I guess. I need to name this route. So this is exports jewelry, and it's going to come from Cape Trelawney to the Old World. And that's it. All right, cool. Off you go. Pick them up. The delivery's getting made. I don't want to see you running out of jewelry ever again. Nice. And, oh my god, look at that. For an exchange. Docklands just took effect. So how are you doing for steel bars? Excuse me. It seems fine. You pulled in 1,500 quartz. That's how much is kind of then being used versus last time. So, yeah, probably about 300 is probably all you need to list this as. Not that it really matters, but I'll just list it as 300. I like having it as a number that I can look at a glance and say, like, yeah, that's probably it. Didn't pull in that much brass, though. So rum still needs to be kind of improved upon. And now we're consuming copper and zinc here. Although we're consuming it to make brass in fairness, so maybe that's not such a bad thing.
sharp. The governor's here.
Yeah, that's kind of fine, I guess. Alright, cool. So we just set that threshold of jewelry. Make sure we don't take too much. There already is a threshold. We'll just set it to 500. We need to set it for the raw materials too, because we actually take these away right now. So we'll just set that to 500 and set that to 500. And brass should continue. Great.
This city is a magnet for...
Alright, I think that's basically everything. It'll just... Did I fix sewing machine? Oh yeah, we were looking at sewing machines. Oh, it's Arthur's Utopia. He seems to have basically stopped moving. Basically, some of his ships are moving, I guess, but I saw a pile of them not that long ago. Maybe it was the New World. Yeah, it was here. Oh, they have moved, actually. There was a huge cluster, but they seem to have, yeah, they've moved. He's kind of stalled, though, for growth. He hasn't, like, started... I don't think he's been building anything lately. He still just continues to try and buy me out. Oh my god, did he build some other island? Or, buy... No, it was this one. Oh, okay. Well, we've got it fully bought back, then. That's good. Yeah, so I think that's basically it. I don't think there's really any other... I mean, maybe I'm sure I'm wrong somewhere, but... As far as I know, there's no other, like, bottlenecks. The only thing would be now increasing population a little bit further, but before I do the next expansions, I'll be looking at what we're gonna lose, you know? It's like, oh, do we have enough of all these things to do that? That's what I'll be checking. So just really quickly, we have that trade route that's doing just pearls. How are they doing? They're still full up. Yeah. And is there still pearls on the island? Not really. Actually, you can get off that. You can get off that. Just leave it down to one ship now. And then we'll just search jewelry again. So we have to wait for that first delivery. So I might speed up time so we actually do that. And get to see our cause and effect. In fact, maybe I'll just make a manual delivery as well. So you go out to Cape Trelawney, we'll go to Crown Farms. And while we're doing that, I'll leave time playing fast, but maybe we could just have a look around at the town and see what I'm going to do for the next build. This area looks really nice. It looks like the Old World pack is winning for the skins. Oh yeah, actually thinking about it, I have to make this zoo look nice. That's something else I need to do. Are we over 11,000? We are, that's good. Hotels seem good. Just when they run out of jewelry, every now and then they kind of dip below that happiness threshold that they need. But they have their souvenirs now. But oh yeah, there you go. When one falls, the other rises. It's kind of interesting. I suppose souvenirs could be something I could check. Souvenirs were such a pain. The tourist stuff was so difficult, I felt like. Oh, we're just slightly below. Only slightly. But that means that, yeah, we're never maintaining it. Now, these buildings have been paused for a very long time, so I could try and make more souvenirs. We make them right now out on Cape Crown Farms. They're made here. Do we have what we need? I mean, it seems like we've got everything else. The camphor wax, maybe not. If I just go all islands and I go agricultural... Camphor wax? Oh, actually, it looks like we have enough. Cotton and everything else is easy. We don't have enough steel beams. Can we buy some from Nate?
I always dreamed of a little scratched and
no, he's got steel bars. Ugh,
An
God.
explosion in one of your factories.
That's fine. Don't worry about that. Right, so I'm basically waiting on moving a little bit of material. I don't know why I don't have steel beams out here. There should be a construction resource thing that goes around. Oh, no. Let's throw down some propaganda to make them happy. Don't want to have the tourists get upset with us. You know what? I actually didn't even... I was going to say I should have read it. We can read it. Oh, I can't read what it was, though, can I? Gotta read my own propaganda. Oh, the irony. That's funny. But yeah, I just wanted to see what was actually wrong. Because it tells you. It's like, hey, you ran out of something somewhere. So it's like, oh yeah, that would be good to know. Right, so this is going to come in. I was going to just pick up some jewelry and drop it straight to the Island of Swords. Just so that we can kickstart their kind of economy. Had I known, I would have taken steel beams with me. Alright. And then I'm basically waiting on this ship to get here, pick up some steel beams, and then go back.
Your ship has returned from its voyage.
Okay. And that way we should be able to get the other factory up and running, and that way we should, in theory, produce enough souvenirs. Now they're running out of something here. They're running out of celluloid. Celluloid is made in one of these places. Isn't it? Can't remember. I'll have to check. Oh, sorry, it's made in the New World. Is there a reason that we've stopped, or is it just a delayed shipment? Celluloid's a little low, but demand is... Oh, well, demand is off because of that, so I guess we need more celluloid. Maybe that's something I'll have to work on in future. We make it here. Again, loads of ethanol, lots of camphor wax that we saw, so...
Your ship has returned from its voyage.
I feel like I could probably increase that. In fact, I know that I will be able to, because if we use fertilizer on all these farms, we can reduce heavily the amount of space here and increase the population, something I'm probably going to have to do. I've been kind of waiting on doing that, though, because I know that on the next DLC, like, there's going to be something that's going to affect and add a new resident. So the New World's going to get pretty interesting. It might soon enough be time to start taking out Arthur to try and grow, because I'm out of space. Like, I've got 3 islands basically in the New World. It's almost borderline impossible to do more with it now, other than just squeeze the crap out of it for items, I suppose. So you're there now. Drop off that. Good. So with another one of these, that should be enough. I could have also just increased slightly the production of souvenirs. I guess that would have fixed it, but this way I don't have to do that. What about cotton as a agricultural product? That's fine as well. So cotton is fine. Everything seems fine. We're overproducing everything. Glass might be the one that's closest, actually. And then the very last thing would be to give them their jewelry. So it's just about to arrive.
Fleet ready?
Alright, there we go. So, they should. That fixes souvenirs and it fixes jewelry. It might not fix glass for those things. I think it should, but it might not. Because, yeah, we pull it in through Dockland, so I guess I don't know. But they have everything they need now.
Publishing the truth, unvarnished and
some of these happiness things, like, I just can't help them with. One that really annoys me is actually this one that I noticed is... It has quite low needs for a variety theater and for a restaurant and for a cafe because it's just not near one. There is one like here. Sorry, right there on the corner.
Tell me your mood and I'll tell you your drink.
And there's that one as well. This is food and drink. That's a bar and that's a bar. See, they're both bars. Probably need to change them so one's a cafe. I thought there was another one. I can't see it. I guess not. I thought I had a third one down here, but it seems like I've only got 2. So yeah, it seems like maybe then having another one like sideways across here might work in between the 2 malls. It actually would look alright across from the town hall as well. But the bus stop is sort of in the way, so I don't know. There's a few things to be done. I gotta redo this place as well, make it look... Well, not redo it, just add some ornaments. I never did. I added this like lovely canal that goes through the place, but we never actually did much with it. So yeah, always more to be done. But I'm pretty happy. I mean, 1,500 or 100,000. That's pretty much where we're capped at. Nothing moving. We are losing money though. The tourist sector is falling.
Nothing quite as lovely as a peaceful.
And that's just because of the recent souvenirs. But like I said, that's going to catch up eventually. So that's just a knock-on effect from that. The goal is to have that number never move and have that number never move. And we're almost there. All right. Well, anyways, this is really a ton of fun to come back to. I'm sorry that because when I take little breaks from the game or I go to Seasons of Silver or I try other things, when I get back to it, even if it's just been like a week, I'm like, it's so hard to keep track of like where all the chains, you know, come together. I think I've done a pretty good job of keeping my roots decent so that now when I am confused I can just go look at them and I'm like, yeah, like I can track it down pretty quickly now, which is always good. Something that people often say is like, you know, it's so hard to keep track of everything in Anno, especially obviously then if you take a break and come back to it. So organizing your trade routes is super helpful, and it makes things like pretty easy to get back up to speed with when you look at like, okay, you know, this is making this is consuming this, and then I search for it in a trade route, and then you can kind of work out like where things are going wrong. So I feel like I've been doing good that way. Anyway, it's quite fun either way coming back to it and playing it. This campaign is just so dense now. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with the next cosmetic. The old world seems to be winning, and then they've got another 2 DLCs right to go. And I assume that's going to be it for the game, but be interesting to see what they do. Airship stuff, right, for the new world. Okay, that's going to be it for me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, thank you very much for watching, and remember, if you want to support this series directly, you can click the join button to become a channel member. Doing so will get your name in the credits, as well as loyalty badges and emotes to use in the comments. If you don't see the join button, it means the video has been copyright claimed, but you can still join from the channel page on desktop. You can also link your account to our Discord to get a special role on there that'll give you access to the Senate House and a few other perks.